Hey Dee, it's Jim. I hope your Monday's going really well. I wanted to take a few moments and make a video for you. When I make these, I really like to shoot from the hip and just be really candid with what I see, because I find that that's the most helpful. I definitely understand that it's difficult to see the trees for the forest, right? Those details are hard to see with your own company. So I understand that. I'm here on your site now, and I see you have a pop-up. That's great. I want to talk more about that a little bit later. But so it looks like you have two pop-ups. I don't know if you know that two are showing up, but it looks like one offers 10% off, one offers 20% off. So I would just clean that up and just have one, so it's not overwhelming for your users. Okay, cool. All right, give me 1 second here, 1 second. Okay, so Dee, I mentioned this before, and if you've seen some of my other videos, you've probably seen or heard me say this, but the most critical area of your website is before the fold. So if you scroll, like before you have to scroll down, this area that you see on my screen right now, in that space, you have to convey to your visitors within seconds what it is that you do and if it applies to them. So that is critical. So you've got to immediately convey that or people will leave. So if you look at your Google Analytics, look at your bounce rate, if people are leaving your page quickly, like within a few seconds, that's a bad sign and just something that it's overcomable. I mean, everybody, all of us have to deal with that. But that's a sign that you need to fix something. Also, if they don't go to multiple different pages on your site, that's also a sign that something is off. A lot of that has to do with collecting or making sure that you're bringing people to the site, to your site in a targeted way. So you make sure you have the right traffic to your site. So if people are leaving quickly, then it could be a sign that you're not bringing the right targeted traffic to what it is that you're selling. So you obviously sell hair extensions. It's great that you immediately make that notable here, or make it noticeable, I should say, here by having this little tag. So as I'm on your page here, it could be more visually appealing, like aesthetically in terms of design, but that's something that can come later on and cost a lot more money. But you've made it immediately clear what you do, and that's huge. As I cycle through the images, like this is such valuable real estate that I like the idea of having verbiage with the image. So rather than just like this lady here, I mean, I get that you're sharing her extension or whatever, but having some words here to convey what it is that makes you unique or makes your company unique is important to share that. Color chart, like, this isn't something I would put above the fold. This is important. That, they need to know what colors you have, but everybody's going to assume that you have a wide range of colors. So I wouldn't use an image like this in this precious real estate here. This is good. Like, this is compelling. Free shipping, that's nice. That could be, put up here or somewhere else, but that's a good thing to share. Instant volume, length, thickness, hair extensions. Yeah, so this is a really compelling image as well. It definitely makes it clear what you do. So this is one that I would use. I don't know, like, I'm clearly not in the hair extension world and don't use hair extensions. So I don't know if this would speak to the people on your site, speak to your visitors, if people are familiar with this brand. If they are, great. If people are not likely to be familiar or brand loyal with hair extensions, I wouldn't bother including this image. Okay, so that's that. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so let me scroll down. And Dee, like, I there's no value in me making this video for you if I'm not real with you, and some of that means being critical as well. So I don't mean to come across that way. But one thing that you may consider doing in the future, when you have the financial resources, is to redesign the site. You have great potential here, but the site is just not that attractive in terms of the design. It just doesn't present super well. The sides of it, like, I don't know, like, it's hard for me to even articulate what I'm talking about. Let me show you something. So if you go to my site, blog.groovejar.com, so go there, and this first one right here, how to boost your conversion rate with a killer first impression, is a blog post that I wrote that'll be really applicable to you. I've got examples here of really good sites and why they're really good, and then really bad sites, and that's just almost for comic relief, but some bad sites and why they're bad. Okay, so that'll help you get some idea of what I'm talking about. There's a site that I use pretty frequently to design my sites, and it's called 99 Designs. And basically, it's a site that allows people to give you multiple, like, they bid. Okay, you put out there what you want, you give them examples, and multiple designers will give you mock-ups of a site design, and then you get to pick. So you need to be prepared to spend roughly like $1,000 or so to get a really good design, but it can be really, really well worth it in terms of conversions. And if you think about it, you're likely paying a lot of money, or you will be, in bringing traffic to your site. So you need to do everything possible to help yourself convert that traffic once it gets to your site. But I get that starting out it's difficult, and I understand that there's not a lot of money. But if you get to the point where you can afford that in the future, it will be well worth it, I promise. Okay. Let's see here. So you're talking about the different types of extensions. That's good. Let me click on. Can I click on that? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to click on a specific product. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. So on this product page, I would just have more verbiage. So reviews are critical. That's going to be just huge. Oh, you have more down here. I'm sorry. So reviews are really important. I know it takes time to build that, but that alone will make a big difference once you have more product reviews. And then, so here I would include information. Think about emotionally charged words that sell things, right? So yes, they need to know how long it is. They need to know all of these specifications. That is important. But think about the emotion behind buying something. Why are women buying this? Like, what is the reason why they buy it? So figure that out and then convey that in language on these product pages that sells it. Whatever the reason is, convey those benefits to them. Okay. But yeah, so that's what I would do on all product pages. Like when they specifically clicked on it, get reviews when you can, and then work on copy. Work on copy that sells, emotionally charged copy that sells. All right, let's look at About Us. All right. So people do business with people, not with businesses. For that reason, making a connection with people really helps build trust and credibility. So for that reason, I would put your face here. Put a smiling picture that engages people. No sunglasses, but like a picture that really engages people and lets them know the person behind the brand, because it conveys trust that you're going to stand behind what you do. And it talks about, and it also conveys that you should use this area to convey that you have expertise in this area. So let me read this copy here real quick. So just introduce yourself here. Have a photo, a nice size photo, have the text wrap around it. I would make the text larger to make it more readable, split it up to where there's a couple different paragraphs here, make it a little bit more narrow. But yeah, introduce who you are, why you do what you do. And it's so great that you are a user of the product, that you came up with this product because you use hair extensions. So sit down and think about the reasons that you use hair extensions. How does it make you feel when you wear one? So think about it. You go out for the night and you have one on versus not have one on. What's the difference in how you feel? Those are the powerful emotions that you need to convey in how your product makes your customers feel that way, to connect with them in that way. That's what you're really selling. You're not selling hair extensions, you're just selling that emotional feeling. You just need to target that and get really clear about what that is, and then make sure you convey that on your site clearly. I think you'll see a big difference. Okay, so let's make sure your contact us looks good here. And also, if you're not marketing on social media or like Instagram, let me take a look at this real quick. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, Dee, this is good. I'm glad you're doing Instagram. Instagram is huge right now, especially for brands like yours, for this kind of niche. So definitely keep working it. Definitely keep pursuing Instagram and growing your following there. That's going to be really, really good. And again, remember those emotions that we talked about. That's going to be important as well. But yeah, the more you build this following, the more you're going to see traffic come on your site, and it's going to be traffic that is warm and already ready to buy from you. So that's huge. Definitely keep that up. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, so that conveys the biggest pieces that I wanted to share with you. One more thing. So I know that you have a couple pop-ups. My company, GrooveJar, the one I sent you the link for, we have a number of different tools, but we work with e-commerce companies, and Groove Urgent is a pop-up that we use that converts extremely well, about over 10% across our entire system. And it works well because it has a countdown timer and conveys the psychological principle of urgency to compel people to enter their email address. That's one I definitely recommend using. However, there's other companies like Privy and SumoMe that have really good options as well. The fact that you're using that is awesome. And just keep in mind that the attention span of the people on your site is limited, and the only way to capture that again, to capture that valuable commodity of attention, is by having their email address. If you have their email address, you're able to market to them again and get in front of them again. So I would experiment with that. Make sure you don't have more than one pop-up going at one time, though. That's going to turn people off and potentially cause them to bounce from your site. But yeah, give it a shot and just see where you're at with your conversion rates and things like that. Those tools are not going to work well for you until you get more traffic on your site. You've got to have good quality targeted traffic on your site before tools like that will work for you. So if that's still an issue in terms of getting a decent amount of traffic to your site, work on that first. Focus on growing your Instagram and work on getting some really good quality traffic to your site. And then you can start to do some of the more advanced things for conversion optimization and kind of go down that path. But I would definitely save for a redesign of your site and put some investment in there. It'll be well worth your money, I promise. Okay, Dee, hope you've got some out of this. Please let me know if you have any specific questions or if you want to take a deeper dive on any of this. I'm happy to help. All right, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Take care.